everyone, and welcome to the Carbonwurks cave. The reason why it's dark in here today is because this tutorial video is for the next part of our G81 build. Handley, the car, has told me what it is. So the DRLs, or daytime running lights, these white LEDs here, are going to get changed out today. We've been waiting a little while to get our hands on the Motorsport Plus units that convert the headlights from the standard white to the CSL style yellow LED. It's possibly the smallest part that we've got to fit, but with one of the bigger impacts. There is a good how-to guide from them online, but I'm also going to do this tutorial video today, so that should give you guys an excellent insight into what's involved in getting this job done. First things first, we need to get the wheels off, so I'm going to get the car up on the ramp in the air, get those wheels off, and then join me back here and I'll go through the next steps. So as previously mentioned, part 2 of the build centres around the headlights, namely the Motorsport Plus DRL chipset LED replacement kit, which is what I've been given. Again, small enough to fit in your pocket. So it probably is one of the smallest parts we're going to fit to this car, but with one of the bigger impacts. So these little circuit boards inside here contain a yellow LED, which is going to take the headlamps on our laser headlight car from the standard white daytime running light to the CSL style yellow. So that comes in the kit, the 4 boards. They are mounted to the headlights, which I'm going to need to get to. MS Plus have a good walkthrough guide on their website as to how to do it, which involves taking the wheels off, taking the arch liners out, and then removal top and bottom of the little heatsink control packs where these printed circuit boards are mounted, to then swap them over, reinstall, test, and away we go. So I'm going to get cracking. There'll be a how-to tutorial video also on our channel for this at some point, so keep an eye out for that. And we'll see you at the end with some yellow lights, hopefully. So the all-important part of the how-to, what you're going to need. So wheels off is going to require a 17mm, either with a bar or a gun. Torque wrench for when they go back on to make sure they're done up correctly. Again, gun, ratchet, whatever you have to your disposal, with a 10mm for this particular car to get the arch liners out. Some of them, the earlier G series, have an 8mm. Then need a T20 for the light units, the control units themselves. Locking wheel bolt key is pretty self-explanatory. And then lastly, a selection of trim tools, which is in that pack there. Some flat blade screwdrivers. Again, I'll find out what size when I get there. And an alcohol wipe has been advised by the guys at MS Plus. And of course the parts themselves, and on the tablet there I have got their how-to should I need it. So that's that. I'll get cracking, get the wheels off. The car's already on our ramp here. If you haven't got access to a ramp, this is something you could do on jacks and axle stands. Take the usual safety precautions. Axle stands always needed. So yeah, I'll get the wheels off, and then once that's done I'll be able to talk you through the next steps. So what we'll do for this tutorial is show you everything from the driver's front corner. Not teaching you to suck eggs, but both sides are the same, so all that needs to be done is the exact same process but the other way around. Obviously you can rewind what I'm doing here to your heart's content. I'm going to start by whipping the wheel off on this side, and then we'll be into the arch liner, which needs to be removed next. So wheel off, I'm now going to get into the arch liner. This car is held on by a set of 10mm screws. Not much to see here really, just undo them all and then the panel will come out. So what you can do is pause the video here to admire big carbon ceramic brakes whilst I get on and take the panel out. So I've removed no less than 13 screws on this one, unlucky for some. So the panel should be ready to come out. So if you just untuck the edge by the bumper and the wing, should leave it ready to pull out towards you just like so. So with the arch liner panel removed, you can see the back end of the headlamp assembly. So there's 2 units that we're looking to remove. Both of them are silver heat exchange units like that. One underneath, which is the low beam DRL, one on top, which is the high beam. Both held in with T20 Torx, hence the socket. And also on the inside of the unit, once you've got it released, there's a plug connector on each one that just needs to be undone. Thumb and finger to squeeze the release tab and unplug. And the top side unit is nice and straightforward. It's located here, just under the bonnet. Again, 2 Torx 20 screws to remove. You can watch me do this, or you can pause to admire yet more carbon. So the same again on this unit. Once it's undone and released, you'll be able to remove it from the aperture in the headlight. This one's got a bit more length on the wiring, so I can show you the plug connector. Again, in the middle on one side there is a clip to release. Simply squeeze, pull, and that's unit number 2 removed. So here we are at the bench with all 4 units removed. So they are handed, so remember to keep them paired from where they came from. So these are the driver's side right hand headlamp, these are the passenger side. Something interesting that I've spotted is actually the smaller high beam units from up top are handed on the original boards left and right, whereas the replacements are ambidextrous. However, the ambidextrous original low beam units are actually handed in the new boards, so they've got an R and an L on the board, and they'll obviously only fit on one way. As per the instructions given to them, we need to use a small screwdriver to pry off these boards. I've done the first ones, is why I can take them off, so you get a bit of residual thermal paste. So you just remove them. A note on this one, they are handed differently in terms of where the plug connector sits. So take note of which way around they go, which will be that way. Remove that as well. This is where your handy alcohol wipe comes in. So you can give the surface a good wipe off and then allow it time to dry off before applying the boards. The boards have got a replacement thermal paste self-adhesive on the back, which you just need to pull the blue tape off of the back in and it's ready to go down. These larger low beam units have actually got pins for the mounting of the board, so it locates for you perfectly. So again, that's now all cleaned up, so give it a short while to evaporate off and then we'll be ready to install the boards. So whilst the first 2 are just drying off there, I'll show you with the other 2 how I went about removing these boards. So again, small screwdriver, flat blade, it's poked under the edge, be careful of your fingers. It's literally as soon as you get one edge going, that's it, it'll fall off. Again, take note of which way round it was, so I've sat this back on, you can kind of see the silhouette of the paste. These larger low beam units, they only go on one way, so there's not so important to remember which way around they go, but you just need to get under a corner and slowly pry it up. This one's proven to be a little bit more difficult, but there you go, just gentle pressure and that will release the whole board, ready to go. Okay, so with the heatsink mounting plates cleaned up, you're ready to fix the new boards. Another important thing to note, generally it's best practice to not touch the printed circuit board with your bare hands. Obviously I'm wearing gloves. It does make it a little difficult to peel these backs off, but at this point all you need to do is peel off the back in, both parts, and then you're ready to stick them down onto the original mounting plate. Apply uniform pressure, ready for it to go off. That's one down. Repeat again for the second, making sure you get the orientation of the plug connection correct. And this is the right hand side unit, so the plug connection is to the right hand side. Firm pressure applied down all over, and that's the right hand units ready to go. Okay, so that's all 4 boards prepped and mounted. Those units are ready to go back on the car. What I'll do now is I'll get those fitted up. I'll show you how to plug them back in, which all being well should be quite straightforward. I'll then just go ahead and get everything bolted back up. I won't bore you with the process on that one because it is the same as undoing it, just the reverse direction. Tim will probably throw in some footage for good measure. Alternatively, go back to the carbon brakes and stare at those. And then once that's done, we'll be able to fire them up, test and see what colour everything comes out. Okay, so as you can see, I sit back down on the ground, wheels on, wheels torqued. That means there's only one thing left, and that's to test these new units. So we're quite looking forward to seeing this combined with the colour of the car. We're quite excited actually. We think, once again, as I said at the beginning of this video, one of the smallest parts we're going to fit will probably have the biggest impact. So it's time to turn out the lights. Okay, so you might not be able to see me so well, but what we can see is these new CSL style yellow DRL side lights, and we think they look fantastic. We're really happy with them. We think they pop against the colour, which if I pop the lights back on, you'll get an idea of how it looks. But yeah, great set of headlights from factory anyway, really nice looking. And yeah, just that touch there of changing to the CSL yellow light is really nice, adds a great deal to the car. So that's us all wrapped up and finished. Hopefully this video answers any queries and questions you might have. One top tip actually, whilst I'm thinking about it, what I found when doing the install is that actually this is your best friend, weapon of choice. It's a little bit driver, T20 bit size, and that's purely because up under here in the wheel arch it's quite tight, the confines to get to the back of the unit, so that gets in there, it's nice and stubby, nice and shallow. That allows you to get those little screws out, get the unit in and out for the purposes of this job. So once again, want to thank you guys for watching, especially if you've made it this far. Like, share and subscribe would be hugely appreciated. We're not done yet, so join us for the next tutorial video. Something else equally exciting I'm sure will be on its way. Thanks again.